how many of you people, you know, remember when Ella Grasso was governor and Carter was the president? I had just gotten a raise to $20,000, and I was just a young engineer at the time, and I suddenly became the from a poor minority. I became a rich majority because Grasso said in Connecticut the Italians were the major ethnic group, and Carter said anybody earning over $20,000 was considered rich. So by fiat, I became rich majority. It's ridiculous. They're going to tax and they're going to tax us. So
Joe, do we want to start?
yeah, it's 10 o'clock now, and we'll start. Thank you, Joe, for a very lively discussion this morning.
Sure was.
Steve, you want to start the recording? We are.
I have.
Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Every little bit helps. So let us have that moment of reflection and give thanks that currently everything is going in the right direction with the pandemic. I just noticed that we're under 2% positive rate in Connecticut, according to the Advocate, and it's dropping slowly. Hopefully we'll get down to the less than 1%, and that we stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Well, it's a new month, and we've got some birthday men, and special recognition to Tony Totillo at 92 and Arnie Farber at 93. And Jerry, if you would.
I've been practicing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear fellows. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And congratulations due for membership anniversaries. 10 years, Jose Neal and Dave Bribish. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, unless you're going to be speaking, unmute, you keep yourself unmuted until you have to speak. Yeah, 10 years of Jose Neal and Dave Prebish. Congratulations on 10 years. And Lou Terry, 5 years. Congratulations, guys. Just going to repeat, what we did, the messages from last week. Our policy at the current time is that for all our activities, in-person activities, every attendee is required to be fully vaccinated, and that's either the Moderna, Pfizer, or J&J, and have 2 weeks under their belt after receiving the final dose. And or if you're not vaccinated or can't get vaccinated, then that you be tested within 48 hours prior to the activity and have a negative result. We're not going to be policemen. It's all on your honor system, and as Larry's posted, a statement for the activity that you have. We're not going to check to see that you did or didn't. All other guidelines, we're going to be following the CDC and state guidelines or requirements. And if we have an outdoor activity and we're not masked close together, then we're not requiring that masks be worn. It's up to you if you want to wear them or not wear them, but we are not requiring it as the organization. And as far as the other social distancing and whatnot, whatever rules are in effect or guidelines, that's what we will be following on in that regard. And you see that it's the 2 weeks after your final dose of the vaccine is when you're considered fully vaccinated. So keep that in mind, and hopefully as we move on, things will loosen up a little bit and a little more freedoms. Today's speaker is Matt Ritter. He's a speaker of the Connecticut House of Reps, and he's a representing the Hartford area. And he's going to be talking about legislature during the COVID pandemic period. And for future speakers, Stu, do you want to take over?
Sure. Thanks, Joe. Morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well today. As you can see, we have an interesting lineup of speakers for the next 4 weeks. Ryan Ventura, who's been with us before, I think he was last year, 2 or 3 years ago, we'll be talking about planning for what he calls unseen situations. A lot of us don't. He'll list some things that we may not have thought about and that we probably do need to think about. So he'll be talking about that. Mark will be back, Mark Albertson, on the 20th. This time to talk about George Washington's farewell address, excuse me, of 1796. Stephen Wertheimer will talk about the growth of the United States supremacy, global supremacy. Interesting topic. He gave this talk, I think, to the men's group in Greenwich. Very widely thought of as a very good presentation. Lastly, we'll be hearing from the folks at St. Jude's. Stacy Baker is my contact. I'm not quite sure she will be doing this speaking or someone else, but I think they were again here last, I think 2 or 3 years ago, talking to us. So it should be, it's a very worthwhile organization. I'm sure you've seen the commercials on television about them. They do very, very good work for children. So that should be an interesting topic. So next slide, please, Carl. A request last week for some members of the program committee and some suggestions for speakers. I did get a few of you who responded. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. But again, you guys who might know people or can think of unusual topics for us to hear about, any industry, any profession, whatever it is, whatever area of life that you think might be interesting. If you know people, contact them, ask if they'd be willing to speak. Maybe have friends who are in different occupations or have interests. So, or let me know and I'll contact them. So appreciate it very much and have a great day.
Okay, Ira is not with us today, and the Assistant Secretary, Carl Shapiro, had a death in his family. His wife's sister passed away, so he had to leave to go out of town. So Lou Terry is assuming the role as secretary today. Lou, do you want to say anything, or I'll just ask if...
Well, I will say that our minutes for the previous meeting were sent and approved by you. And attendance of the previous meeting was 54 plus 1 guest, Ken White. And the attendance at today's meeting, I'm seeing 46. And if there are no corrections or additions, I will send it over back to Joe for approval.
Okay, I don't see anybody trying to get on, so consider the meetings for last week approved. Thank you, Lou, for filling in. Okay, next slide.
Okay, Larry
Larry.
here. I want to thank Joe D for leading a very lively discussion on investing today, which actually turned into be a lively discussion on tax and budget matters for the government. A lot of participation. I encourage more of you to get up early and join the discussions. May 13th, Bob Butke on technology. May 20th, Lori Price comes back on money matters. Joe D returns on the 27th for current events. And June 3rd, Art Feldman will lead us on a topic to be determined. So thank you guys who lead the discussions. And if anybody else wants to be a discussion group leader, please feel free to contact me. You can pick a subject of your choice. Next slide, please. Tai Chi, Mondays at 2:30. Carl has done a very lovely job of getting this accomplished. To date, 15 people have signed up. We would welcome more. The fee is $16 a month for those who wish to. It really helps in balancing, and it's also a lot of fun. So feel free to come next Monday at 2:30 at Scalzi Park.
On that, Larry, just the fee is dependent upon the number of participants. So if we end up with more participants, the cost per month will drop. We don't want to, make there's no profit making on it or anything else. So it's pay as you go. Right now, it works out to $4 per person per session to cover the cost. If we get more people, it can go down to $3 per session. So that's what the cost is based on. If we get 10 people, it'll go up.
Okay.
Larry.
Yesterday's walk was at the Irwin Park, and only 3 brave souls showed up to walk in the drizzle or mist or light rain, whatever you want to call it. Carl, John, and Dave. And either they took a selfie or had some other brave soul take the picture. But
It was a selfie. And,
okay, you did a good job. Your hands are long enough to make it work well.
I guess the rest of our participants who didn't notice that the slide always says rain or shine, so I put a little more emphasis on the rain. There was we go no matter what.
Okay, well, next week the walk's in Waveney Park in New Canaan. So for those who show up, you get a lot of assets, you get fresh air, scenery, conversation, and exercise.
And bragging
So,
rights.
and a fifth is social meeting. So do come and enjoy. Next slide. Alan, you want to talk about the bridge walk?
Sure enough. Here's an adventure for those who want to take a leisurely 1.5 hour walk with lots of fresh air and outstanding water views. If you go to the next slide, the date is Wednesday, May 19th, just 2 weeks from yesterday. What we will be doing is parking at the Westchester Landing side of the bridge, walk across the bridge to the Rockland Bridge Landing site. That's about 3.5 miles. It'll take us probably an hour and 20 minutes. There are 6 overlook spots along the pathway on the bridge. What's pictured is one of them. Our next stop, our next element will be taxiing into Nyack for lunch, and then after lunch, taxiing back to Tarrytown to our cars parked at the Westchester Landing. The cost will be in the $12 to $13 range per person for taxis and whatever you choose to do for lunch. There is an alternative track for those who want to do a shorter walk, simply go partway out on the bridge walk, say 1/2 mile and turn around and go back and have lunch in Westchester. I will be providing restaurant locations and reservations once those who've signed up, indicate what their preferences are as to whether to do a part-way walk or all the way across. The key, of course, is we need nice weather. I do have a rain date, which will be May 25th, a Tuesday. Finally, asking for signups by emailing me, indicating whether your intention is to go all the way across the bridge or part way. And then a few days before the outing, I'll send a detailed email with all the specifics that everyone will need, those who are participating. Are there any questions?
I have one.
Oh, okay.
When you mentioned taxi, what is the taxi business about?
Well, the reason for taxis is that once you get to the Rockland Landing of the bridge, it's still 1/2 mile or a mile further to get into Nyack. So it's more convenient to grab a taxi there. And then, of course, we have to get back to our cars from Nyack. And, the alternative is something like a 4.5 mile walk back from Nyack. So there'll be, my wife is thinking she might want to do it, but I don't know that there will be anybody else.
Maybe my wife too.
Well, okay, we'll allow for that possibility. Any other question? All right, I will fill in some more next week, but I would appreciate those who are signing up to get back directly to me with emails, over the next couple, 3 days, so we can move ahead with organizing. Thank you.
Question, Alan. This is Joel.
Hey, Joel.
Is this a guided tour walk, or could it be just alone in our group?
It will not be guided. It will be, just a social walk going across. I have been on the bridge walk a little bit more than halfway. It's very interesting, very pleasant. Really remarkable facility to provide for access across the bridge. So it'll be fun, and we'll hold out for nice weather.
Thank
Alan, it looks like there's a screen in the rest areas. That tell us about the bridge construction?
Just say that again.
There's a screen just to the left of that bench in the picture in the slide. Is that descriptive of the bridge? The history of the bridge?
Well, the, that I couldn't quite still make out what you were saying, but there's some seating here. It's a bit of a build out. And it's one of the 6, that screen that you're circling. That I don't remember, but that may have a sign, some descriptive material to read. I don't know for sure what that is.
Oops. Anybody know how to get-
Okay. The annual tennis tournament, Monday, June 7th. And is Joe Mattel on tonight or Larry Berger on? I don't believe so. I didn't see Joe. At any rate, please contact them if you will be playing. Hopefully, there'll be enough to create a tournament, but if not, it will be a social event for those who can make it. So Scalzi Park, Monday, June 7th. And the contact information is there. Next slide for the golf. Howie and Brian, one of you want to speak up first?
All right, I guess I'll start, only to say that I'll be sending out emails shortly, but for now, just kind of circle the date, and you'll be hearing from me within the next 2 weeks, anyone who's ever played before. Howie, you got anything?
Yes, we will be sending out a slide. Brian and I will talk or meet this week, and we'll have Carl make up a slide. We have the menu for the luncheon all set up. We will have the price all set up and starting time. And then as you respond, which we already have a bunch of guys, thank you, we will have teams set up. This year, this session, the third man in the team ranking, which is someone like me, will be the captain. The next one will be the fourth, and we'll keep going back and forth. So everybody on the teams will have the opportunity to be a captain and tell the others what to do. Brian's team is featured in the corner of the slide, but we'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Howie and Brian. Looking forward to that. The spring luncheon on Wednesday, June 30th. It's at Rock Rimmon Country Club. The cost is $50 a person. The menu is on the next slide. Basically, there's been an email sent out, a blast to all the membership to request, if you're coming, to choose your main course among these 3, to state that you have been vaccinated, and to send a check to my address, which is in that email blast, and made out to SMAS, not to me. So a couple of guys have sent checks made out to me, unfortunately, so we had to resolve that issue. But at any rate, so far we have 75 people, which includes spouses, attending. They've made their choice of menu. Not all of them have sent in their checks yet. I would ask that if you have not, to please jump on that. And that's about it. Again, it's going to be inside. And since we only have currently 48 people on this Zoom call, Zoom meeting, I would encourage you to contact other people in the club that you know that don't participate in the Zoom meetings to let them know that there is this event is occurring. And I encourage as many of you as possible, if you have not already signed up, to do so. We'd love as many of you to be there as possible. It will be should be a nice event. Last year, 2 years ago, 2019, we had almost 130 people attend. So,
Larry? Larry?
to each other in person again. So that's where we're at. Any
Larry?
questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
Larry, maybe we send out another email blast because everybody will get the email. So we can send out,
Okay, Steve, just send it out again, if you would, and this way we hope, a lot of people say they don't get it or they can't get it or what have you. But this way we'll refresh everybody's memory.
The reminder went out. A reminder went out on the this week's meeting reminder about the luncheon.
Okay, I don't think people read that, so if you just resend out the initial blast that I sent for you, that would probably work.
Larry?
and
Yes.
the other point I'd like to make, Larry, is that like always, any of our events, if for some reason you can't make it or your guest wife or significant other can't make it, the policy of SMAS is that you get your money back. So it's
That's
not
correct.
lost. So even though it's a month and almost 2 months away, you're afraid to commit, don't worry about it. You will get a refund if for some reason you can't make it.
Larry?
Building
Yes.
on Larry's comments about the attendance of 47, 50 people at a Zoom meeting, and advertising our events a little bit more. I suggest that maybe I'll write in collaboration with Larry and maybe Stu, an email separate from the blast, just reminding the members that we're starting to schedule activities again, and they were advertised on the slides, but encouraging them to participate in the Zoom meetings to keep abreast of what's going on and to start migrating back to our activities.
And adding on to that, what Carl just said, how do we reach the members who are not on, who don't do email? It'd be good if we could send them a real letter reminding them everything that Carl just said, because they're not hearing this and they're not going to get the email. But we do have a number of people who are in that category.
Good point, Stu. Do it.
How about robocalls?
Well, I'm good with writing it.
Maybe Steve can figure out a way to do robocalls.
I mean, they do have telephones, so you don't have to send a letter. You might.
Right. Well, calling is good. Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to do that with.
I mean, and there are, Carl, I think there's only about, the last time I checked at one point, there are only, I think, less than 10 people that are not, don't carry email.
Yeah, and Steve keeps running into some more. We have email addresses, but they're no longer working. So it has to be some combination of email and phone calls. But yeah, Steve and I can work on that and identify the people for whom we have no email whatsoever, and maybe we can give them a call.
And I think, use it with discretion, guys. I mean, you don't have to call or send letters out for every little thing. I mean, when we have a major event and want to praise people of it, might be a time to do it. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for the additional input, guys. Next slide, please. Stu, you want to speak about the picnic?
Sure, one of my favorite topics. So you can see there, guys, the 23rd, scribble it down on your calendars. The information there is, the new information that I put up is signups will begin on the 3rd of June. And so we'll do them beginning then, but we'll continue through the summer since we'll sort of semi be in operation. I'm planning to have a picnic committee meeting this coming week, probably on Tuesday, to work out some of the more fine details in running a picnic. There are a lot of little ends that we have to make sure that we take care of. So I was wondering, Steve, if I ask people to check off yes, will that work? Will you get a total, Steve? Steve. I was gonna say, by show,
muted.
what?
What did you want to know?
If they click on the yes button, will you do you get a total number of
Yeah.
yeses?
Yeah.
So if you guys would click yes, if you intend to go to the picnic. Okay, if you intend to go to the picnic, click the yes button on your Zoom screen. I'm gonna get a rough idea of, and yes means multiply times 2. We'll do that math. You got a number, Steve?
Right now, I only see 10.
That's it.
Well, wait, it's going up. People are having trouble finding it.
Yeah, I'm not finding it.
The reaction button on some of your screens, click that. On the other rest of them, it's in the participants.
It's a green check box, a green check in a circle. I've got one raised hand and 17, 18. It's about 19 people so far.
Okay, so that's roughly 40, say. All right. Okay, thank you. You can lower your hand now. Check off. Just click the button again, it goes away. I'm done.
Thanks, Stu.
Thanks, Stu. That's it for activities. Thanks to all the chair people of the various events. I want to thank you, and I'll turn it over to Carl.
I would like to make a comment, please. I don't think that you could take everyone as a twosome, Stu.
I did, yes.
I would say you cannot take everyone as a twosome.
Well, ballpark.
Okay, I'm just saying, I know my wife will be attending, and I've
Okay.
been there with a lot of guys whose wives don't attend.
All right.
The
That's
year.
cool.
I was just giving you a clue.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, membership. I have no new members this week, although I think it's Stu is working on one. We've had contact from Ken White, and he seems to be interested, but he hasn't submitted an application yet. So we're optimistic, and we're still looking for more members. Are there any guests or visitors today? I took a quick look and I didn't notice any, but did I miss anyone when I checked? Do we have any guests or visitors? All right then, continue your activities. Continue if you're participating in the golf tournament, the tennis tournament, or any of these walks, and you want to bring guests, feel welcome to do so. And one of the ways we can attract new members. So keep up the good work. Thank you.
Dave?
Okay, fellowship. Well, good morning, everybody. A few weeks ago, I reported that Bruce Tillman lost his very close uncle, Bernard Eckholt. Well, I've now been informed that Bruce's mother passed away on May 1st in Gulfport, Mississippi. So Bruce will remain there for a week or more while getting things in order. We've sent Bruce a sympathy card once again, but let's keep him in our thoughts. And also Carl and Susan Shapiro, let's keep them in our thoughts as well. On a cheerier note, we sent Arnie Farber and Tony Totillo a happy birthday wishes on their 90+ birthdays, always a good thing. So it's getting toward graduation time. Does anybody have good news to report? Graduation of grandkids, upcoming weddings, or anything else? Well, if not, that's all I've got.
Hold it, guys. Don't forget Mother's Day this weekend.
That's right. Good point. Next chart, Carl. So again, let's keep those we got listed here. Phone calls, stay in contact. And if you know of anybody else, please let me know. Thank you very much.
Good morning,
Thank
everybody.
you, Dave. Dick?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to sit here and look out on a bright blue sky so we can enjoy it.
And
Yeah. And next Wednesday, we're talking about Hellhound on His Trail, which is a fascinating story about how they finally caught the killer of Martin Luther King, who interestingly enough escaped again once they got him in jail for a short time. But it's a well-written story, as Hampton Sides books usually are. And then we've lined up for the 23rd of June, a trip down through the South. The story is written by Tony Horowitz. So it's kind of an interesting pre-Civil War view from a Northerner's point of view. So that'll be interesting reading too. And I'm still entertaining possible books as we expand the list for post-summer reading. So you can send in any suggestions to me. Thanks very much. Enjoy the day, everybody.
Thank you, Dick. Oh, we still have some time, and I don't think our speaker, Matt, has joined us yet. So any items for discussion on
I have a question.
Okay, I would request that since this is not, just raise your hand, but go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I'm wondering if anyone else had this experience. About 3 weeks ago, I applied online for a beach permit. And I immediately received an acknowledgement of receipt of my application, but I have not yet received the permit.
You
anyone
won't.
else?
You
I-
won't receive it.
No, you do.
If you read the receipt that you got that shows your payment and the debt, all the information, somewhere on there, it says, keep this receipt and place it on your left dashboard.
But the
That
thing
is
is,
the receipt. That is the beach sticker.
Yeah, but
they
Bob,
didn't ask for any money.
What?
Bob, I did this just 2 days ago. I did it online. I got the email that you described and that Joe described. And the very next day, I got an email from them again saying basically pay up. And then I gave them my credit card information and then they sent me a receipt and I was done. So you should have gotten an email a day or so after you did your application.
All right, I'll send them another.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the receipt that you get from them indicating the payment, that is they're not issuing the windshield stickers. So,
They're scanning plates.
all right, any other questions? Yes, Al.
A question on the beach stickers. Have they stopped giving them out at the government center?
Yeah, no stickers anymore.
No. Can you pay at the government center or do you have to do it online?
You can pay at the government center. Larry Willinger just did it yesterday.
Thank you.
Remember, veterans are free.
That's true too.
Okay, Jerry, you had a,
No, I was gonna say veterans are free.
I see a hand raised by Al Purdy.
yeah, Al just spoke, asked the question.
Okay.
Uh,
Where's our speaker?
Or any other questions or items? Any jokes?
The whole thing's a joke.
Well, I heard one for what it's worth. question came up among a couple of women, and they decided that they were going to wear black heels and black undergarments and black bras and black masks and greet their men when they came home. So the first one was an engaged young lady, and she dressed up with a black outfit. And when she saw her fiance and she, displayed the outfit, he turned around and said, "Well, I'm glad that you did that because I'm looking forward to our relationship. It's going to be wonderful." And the mistress was the second person, and she went into her paramour's office wearing a black trench coat, a black hat, and she took the trench coat off, and she had the black undergarments and the mask and everything else. And he turned around and he said, "Wow, this is fantastic. Why don't you, let's get to it, lock the door." And then the wife, when the husband came, and she exposed herself with her black undergarments and black bra and black mask, and he turned around and he says, "Okay, Zorro, what's for dinner?" And then it hit the fan.
Oh, boy.
Alan, come on, you got to help us out.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, all right, you reminded me of one that couple married for a very long time, and it's a book on how to juice up your romance. And it said to take saran wrap and wrap it around yourself. And when your husband comes home, just greet him at the front door, just dressed in this saran wrap, wrapped all around you. Well, the husband comes home, she opens the door, he looks at her, scans her up and down once, and he said, "Ah, leftovers again?"
Okay. Well, I see.
Our speaker has joined us.
Yeah, our speaker has joined us. So Steve, you want to